Hello and welcome to TelecomTV. We're reporting from Mobile World Congress here in Barcelona in Spain, where it's supposed to be sunny, but it isn't. It's quite wet and cold, but we're indoors in a very noisy Hall 3 on day 3 of the show. So we might fight against brass bands and dancing girls in due course, but until then we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm pleased to be talking with Vivian Chow, PhD, who is Director of Engineering, Home Consumer Business with HP. Vivian, great to meet you.
Very nice meeting you.
Very interesting chat off camera before we started. Now, we're going to talk about something which doesn't get a lion's share of the limelight these days, but it's something which is very important not only to HP, but also to consumers, which is printing.
Absolutely.
HP makes a lot of money from printing and does a lot with printing technology. And let's leave aside the arguments over the price of renewed cartridges. Let's talk about what you're doing now that HP is splitting. What is HP's strategy for mobile printing, given the emphasis on mobility, and how far along the road are you?
Great. So our mobile strategy is predicated on 3 main areas. The first one is simplicity. Simplicity in setup or printing for whoever the end user might be. The second one is ubiquity, to be able to print off of any mobile platform or any mobile device in any environment. And that's where HP has a strength. We have a portfolio of printer products that span home, office, enterprise environments, and we know users want to print in those environments. And so we want ubiquity of our solutions. And then finally, we want to address security. Security is very important in the enterprise environments, particularly as there are many people who now carry their own personal mobile devices and need to print on enterprise devices. So the security and manageability aspects of HP's mobile print solutions are critical to our strategy.
How do you provide for every different type of printer device out there so that it will work?
Well, just like we have a portfolio of printers to address the specific need, we have a portfolio of print solutions. Our first solution came out in roughly 2009 with our first cloud printing solution. And year after year, we've continued to deliver more solutions to our portfolio, such as an first AirPrint printer, the first wireless direct printer so that you can print peer-to-peer without having to get onto a network. And last year, we introduced the first MOPRIA certified printer. Again, going toward an industry alliance to make printing ubiquitous and easy for the end user.
I was going to add to that, one of the things which is very evident these days, and which we've been talking a lot about over the past year and more, and certainly here this week, is the fact that these days, no company on its own is big enough to do everything. And there's a lot of partnershiping and collaboration with companies that might once upon a time have been really quite strong rivals and competitors, and are working together. Are we beginning to see that sense of reality working in the printing sector as well?
You're spot on with that comment. And MOPRIA is that great example. It is an alliance of the print players and mobile players. And again, we're united in an effort to bring easy printing solutions to businesses and end users. And so at times you may consider us rivals, as you say, but we understand that a mobile print need is out there in the market and that we have to work together to advance that, to make it the best solution and easiest solution possible for solution providers and solution users.
There's a lot of talk also whether it's fixed line networking or mobile networking. As we move towards the intelligent virtualized network, NFV, SDN, the cloud, and so on, comes about, there's a lot of talk and emphasis being placed on the importance of openness, open source, open standards, and openness. Again, the same question to you, Vivian. Does that pertain and apply in printing?
Absolutely. I think, again, all your comments are spot on relative to the number of players out there and the radical change that's happening. And as you say, can one company alone invest in delivering an end-to-end solution? We don't think so. And what you will see, I believe, in this industry is more openness, more open APIs, more partnerships where you may not have considered a partnership in the past.
Okay, let's move on. What do you think the market needs now? What are the drivers? And where does HP stand out as far as mobile printing capabilities are concerned? What makes you different from somebody else?
Okay. So let me start with where I think the needs are, and I'll talk about it a little bit from two different perspectives.
Sure.
From an end user perspective, we hear very loud and clear that end users want to be able to print from their mobile devices. In many homes, in many use cases, it is the dominant computing device, and that is where content is coming from. And so what we need to continue to do is make it intuitively simple. And an example today is there's over 600 billion mobile photos taken. And what we hear as we take surveys is that users want to print some of those photos. We need to make it easy to print. We want fabulous quality to delight the end user with that output. On the enterprise side, I think it's a little bit different.
Yep.
Again, as we talk about the personal devices that are going to be more and more dominant in the enterprise space, security, manageability, to allow for that use case becomes more and more important. And what stands out today with HP is, again, our breadth of portfolio. We have such a strong printing reputation and heritage.
You do indeed.
We have great placement and position in the home, in the office, and in the enterprise space. And what you've seen with the solutions that we've delivered, and what I think you will see in the future, is we will continue to innovate solutions for simplicity and in that trusted partner role with the IT professionals to be able to deliver what they need in their enterprise environment.
Thank you. Let's look forward, shall we? Every year we see the massive changes that are taking place in the industry generally, and it seems to accelerate year by year.
Oh,
There's
yes.
always a theme. There's Internet of Things, big data. Sometimes the mobile device, not forgotten, but it's just part of the mix these days. Looking forward to, let's say, Mobile World Congress 2016 in a year's time, which is about as far as anybody can look ahead these days. What do you think is next for the industry? Where's HP going with mobile printing?
Well, interesting that you mentioned the Internet of Things. I think that is going to be something that we're going to be watching very carefully. And as there are many more devices that are part of the Internet of Things, I think it's going to open up a lot of opportunity, not only into how they communicate and what they communicate and share, but again, more opportunities as that richness of solution comes to play. On the enterprise side, I may sound like a broken record, but again, this comment of personal devices in an enterprise environment and more control that is needed in an enterprise space.
Absolutely.
You'll continue to see even more control, even more flexibility, the ability and tools for you to control that and feel confident that you can enable those very important use cases, but not sacrifice the security, data protection, or privacy of your data or documents.
Another question to you, which I don't want to rain on your parade or anything like that, but I talk to a lot of people, obviously, in this industry and around it, and consumers, and not just consumers, people from within printing manufacturers as well have said, what we need to do is to get the cost down, because what people complain about isn't the cost of the original device, which are usually often very, very cheap and very effective, but it's the cost of the printing itself that really gets people down in the end. And especially if you're saying people want high quality, good quality, colour stuff sent over a network, Wi-Fi network, wireless network, and print out. Will future printers cost less, or will the mobile devices that enable the printing cost less in the future than they do now?
In terms of the print,
Yes.
the output print. Yes, if you look at what HP is offering today, we've introduced some new programs to address the affordability of print. We have a fantastic program called Instant Ink.
I've heard of it.
It can take the cost of a photo down to as low as 3 cents a photo. And as we expand that solution and offer other models around it, you'll start seeing us drive towards some of that sensitivity in some of the markets on the cost per print.
Do you see the day coming when there'll be a mobile 3D printer? There's an engineering challenge.
There's an engineering challenge, but you know, if you cycle back 10 years ago, could I foresee today? Probably not. So given what I've known from the past 10 years, I'm going to say, sure, I can see it. Do I know the direct path to it? Not right now,
Fascinating when he does
but
that.
a fascination.
Really
yeah.
interesting and nice to talk about something that isn't right there in the mainstream
You bet.
all the time. Vivian Chow, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.